You're watching Taste of Victory.
It's 1 a.m. over here, but this is insane news. Digimon TCG just had a live stream in their new metaverse platform thing, and they dropped news bomb after news bomb. This is absolutely insane. First off, as you'll see on screen right now, is a big announcement that players have been waiting for forever. The Digimon TCG is officially, in all formats, by default, getting Mulligan. Yes! We did it! We're finally getting Mulligan in this game. Like, oh my god, I've been waiting for this forever. Because, like, I get it. Completely, I get it. Things have play cost. You could play out of almost any hand. The only situation where you really can't play the game is when you somehow open all options and they're all, like, useless options like Trump Sword or something. I don't know. It's 1 a.m. I can't think of a specific option right now. So, I understand people's hesitation to that. But, like, dude, in the current state of the game, if you are hard slamming a 5 because that's all you've drawn after passing for 2 turns, you are losing the game. You have to have like really good efficient removal on the next megas you're going to draw, or maybe draw some good options or something, but like 9 times out of 10, you're out of the game by then. It's just really tough to come back from it. So I really thought this game needed this change for a while now. So I love that. It's great. And so this all is taken from their stream. They had a stream on their new metaverse platform, which is something like a webcam lobby thing that Bandai has made in Japan only as of now. But they hosted a stream there to celebrate the launch and all that, and they announced a lot of changes to the TCG as well as new product. First up is this picture. So this is again taken from that stream. And while if you can't read Japanese, you can't really read what this says right now, I do have the translation pulled up, so I am prepared to read that for you guys. But basically, this is just explaining the new setup game state to start a new game, because it has changed a little bit beyond Mulligan. Not only do we have Mulligan now, but also you draw your opening hand first instead of your security. When you start the game, when you finish shuffling your deck, you do not put your first 5 security down first and then draw your opening hand. No, you get your opening hand now, and wow, that is a change. That is a crazy change. I saw people that were asking for that just a couple of weeks ago as of Nationals. You know, it's insane. So basically, this is introducing the new opening game state flow. You shuffle your decks on your Digitama decks. You do rock, paper, scissors, or whatever to see who goes first. Then you draw 5 cards. Those 5 cards are now your opening hand instead of your security. You can look at your hand and choose whether to redraw one. When you redraw, you return all the cards from your hand to the deck, shuffle them, and draw 5 cards again, and that is now your opening hand. Then you place 5 cards from the top of your deck on security and to put the memory counter to 0 and start the game. So that is some huge stages to the game. So I've already seen people that are saying stuff like this game wasn't designed to have Mulligan in it. And to an extent, that's probably true, because like we had this game for years now without the Mulligan, but it's not like they haven't been testing it. They've had multiple Ultimate Cups now, which implemented that rule in the deck building. So they have data, you know, they've experimented with Mulligan. So if they feel confident going forward with the design and with the state of past cards to implement it now, I am more than welcoming of it. I am more than trusting that they'll be able to handle it well and balance around it. This is awesome because, yeah, I think the game will only benefit from Mulligan. There's definitely some worry that OTK decks become stronger and more consistent and stuff like that, but I think that's solvable with a ban list and careful design in the future. So I totally understand people not being confident in that, not wanting to give that benefit of the doubt, but I'm pretty confident. Bandai is pretty fast to respond with this game usually outside of ban lists, so I'm pretty happy. I'm just glad we have Mulligan. This is such a huge push to the game. Like, I love this so much. Really great, I think, for the competitive environment, and I am super excited to have that in there. It's definitely going to alter how you deck build. It's definitely going to alter what decks are going to see representation, but I think that's the beauty of it. That's exciting, and we're just going to have to wait and see like how it really turns out. Next, we have some insane stuff here. We got a new mechanic introduced in the game, introduced with the new starter decks that are upcoming, and that is Ace cards. So Ace cards are literally like Pokemon X in the Pokemon TCG, which are big bodies that are a lot stronger, but you can play them down immediately or for cheaper, at the cost of a bigger punishment when they lose. In Pokemon, when one of your Pokemon gets knocked out in the TCG, you take a prize card. X Pokemon sometimes take up to 2 or 3 prize cards to punish you for playing this card out cheaper. So this is kind of like that. You have stronger Digimon, but they have way bigger drawbacks. So for example, thank you to Russ Merrill for these translations. We see in the new upcoming Metal Garurumon starter deck, we have the Ace Metal Garurumon. You see the Ace box down there, and you see Ace in its title. So what this is, Ace comes with an overflow cost. So while yes, okay, look, I know what you're thinking. Look at this. Yes, this is a mega level 6 Digimon with 6 play cost. So I know what you're thinking, but yes, it has the overflow cost. So what the overflow cost here in the Ace box is, whenever this thing is moved out of the area, out of the play area at all, you know, and it specifically says this card. So if it's de-digivolved, if it's a level 5 underneath something and it's source stripped, you know, if it's moved out of the play area at all, you have to pay its overflow cost, which is usually in memory. For this Metal Garurumon, it says you have to pay an overflow cost of 4. So if your opponent played, let's say, an 8 cost option to remove this with deletion, you have to pay 4. So instead of paying 8, they technically only paid 4 to remove it because of the overflow cost. So while you are able to get these out faster, and while they are cheaper and all that stuff, they do come with a drawback that you have to be careful about. And we see that we have some like aces at the level 5 level and stuff like that. So you gotta be extra careful with these because like everything removes a level 5 now if it sneezes, you know? It's like so easy to remove stacks like that. So these guys could have really big drawbacks, you know? It's interesting. But let's go ahead and read the new reveal here for the Metal Garurumon Ace. Russ Merrill explains for us that introducing Ace Digimon and the Blast Evolution mechanic. Cheap to play and free to evolve when your opponent attacks, but be prepared to pay the price in overflow when they're removed. Translation and comments. So before we get to that, we should probably go over something that was introduced to go along with this new Blast Evolution mechanic that is really important, and that is the counter step. So something like counter step has always technically existed in the game. It's stuff where like Omnimon X BT5, where you trash the sources to stop an attack, or your blocker. That's basically what the counter step was. Colloquially, the community referred to it as the reaction step. It is now officially the counter step. And these counter effects will happen before the blocker would happen in terms of counter step procedures. So here, Digimon TCG Review on Twitter has made a nice little flowchart of the new counter mechanic and how it plays into a typical battle flow. Step 1 is player A attack declaration. Step 2, player A activates their one attacking effect. Step 3 is the new counter timing, triggered by player B when a Digimon attacks. Player B's counter once per attack resolves, player B blocker activates. Battle commences either with Digimon or security. So it's basically when they're attacking, you have an option to counter now. So if we go back to this Metal Garurumon Ace, it has evolved 3 from a level 5 with Garurumon in its name down here in its Black Evolution box. So if you don't hate the promo where Garurumon with security attack +1 enough already, it can digivolve from that if you wanted to for some reason. It also has the effect Hand, which means this card effect could be, this part at least, can be activated from hand. Counter. So when your opponent's Digimon attacks, that is the trigger window to now activate this from hand. Blast Evolution. Blast Evolution means you may evolve one of your Digimon into this Digimon at no cost. So normally this would be 3, but if your opponent attacked and you have this level 5 out, you could just, you know, counter Blast Evolution into this and you have a free level 6. It has an on-evolution effect by trashing up to 3 cards in your hand, gain 1 memory for each card trashed. That is just absurd. So not only are you going into it for free, you are profiting off it potentially. So that is really good there. And then on attack, once per turn, by trashing 1 card in your hand, delete one opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. Then here we go with the overflow cost. Overflow 4. When this card is moved from the battle area or from under a card to a different area, lose 4 memory. So there's the trade-off that you are risking with this guy. With this card in particular, because of its ability to trash and gain memory off of that, I think it's a little offset there, but otherwise, like, not every card is going to have that, not every ace card. So that's kind of insane. And you do not, keep in mind, you do not need to use the Blast Evolution to have this ace drawback. This ace drawback is simply always going to be live, whether you Blast evolves or not. And now the new counter keyword on the cards opens up for more possible effects as well. So who knows what's going to happen, because this is an example of a card with hand plus counter. So maybe we'll be getting hand traps like Battle Fader in the future. There's a lot of exciting possibilities. And honestly, that is where I get a bit worried, because this is cool. You get interaction with your opponent. This is something a lot of people have asked about, and this is definitely going to be polarizing. I totally get that, but like, This is something I am potentially excited for if they balance it well, because I never liked being able to take a whole second turn on your opponent's turn in Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, but if it doesn't get to that stage, I think this could be very cool and make for interactive gameplay. I think the game was already fairly, like, yes, there's no cards that directly interact with your opponent, there's nothing that activates on your opponent's turn, but the memory system itself is like very tug-of-war interactive in a way, and you already have to be planning out your action by the time your opponent's turn is ending anyway. So like, I thought the game struck a very good balance, but I do think that there could be room for more interaction, especially with this counter mechanic, with how much, which is how fast the game has gotten. Also to note is like, this buffs black a lot. Buff being bad is one of the memes with the community for a long time. Now now it's been good because of Alphamon, because of Black or Greymon. But that's specifically those decks being good as opposed to necessarily the black color. Now this buffs its tools like crazy. D-Digivolve is super good now because you were getting that memory back just by simply D-Digivolving. You know, going into a Gaiomon, I think it D-Digivolves. I don't remember off the top of my head. So that's pretty cool. Source Strip gets a gigantic buff off of this. If you go into one of the level 5s that has an ace, you strip that, you're still losing the ace overflow cost. So that's a huge buff to those. I don't know if Source Strip needed a buff, but that's interesting side effect of it. Let's see if Russ Merrill has translations for those as well. So we do have the translations here for Metal Greymon Ace and Zudomon Ace. You have all three from level 4 with Greymon in its name: hand, counter, blast evolution. So again, if you have a level 4 out already on the field, you could counter blast evolution, and then on play or on evolve, delete one opposing Digimon with 6,000 DP or less. So I guess if something with 6,000 DP or less is attacking, you could counter this and then delete it before it resolves. Definitely gonna have to check with judges before that one, but that's cool there. But that's the thing too, because like, that's a level 4 that needs to be sitting in your battle area to be able to have the hand counter ready, you know, to be able to activate. Because like, hand counter is specifically blast evolution, so you wouldn't be able to like hard slam it for this Metal Greymon specifically. So that begs me to ask, how good would it actually be? You know, like, people are freaking out about this, but like, really, what does not remove a level 4 when attacking that is meta right now? Like, there's so many ways around that. So depending, these are the first cards, of course, so it's only gonna get better, but for now, on the simple theory of how efficient it is to remove stuff in this game right now, Blast Evolution and this whole counter mechanic may not be too crazy. It should be manageable at least. And then we have Zudomon. He is hand, counter, blast evolution, on play or on evolve. Trash any 2 Digivolution cards from opposing Digimon. After that, return 1 opposing Digimon with no evolution cards to the hand. So now this is an example of an absolutely insane ace Digimon, because it trashes any 2. That alone is insane, because that we've always had to trash like bottom, top, something like that. You don't get to pick and choose like that before. There may be like 1 or 2 cards that do that. Someone please leave in the comments if there is. I can't think of any off the top of my head. But this is insane, because if they have like a level 6 with a 5 ace underneath it, you just trash the ace. And you're already digivolving for free, but now you're getting the extra 4 off of the one you trash. So this Zudomon is actually incredibly strong, and you potentially get to bounce something too, so that's pretty cool. So there is examples of strong and weak blast evolutions. But then this is an ace underneath your card, so if this gets source stripped or something, you know, that could be a problem there. Like, you could lose those 4. So again, there's the trade-off. There's the new management you have to do with the new mind games with these new blast evolution things. So this is incredibly exciting. Of course, there is a ton of details that we need to get more info on, and it's all going to be coming out once we get it translated to English and put it together to get the full picture. I will gladly post an update on the community tab of my channel where you guys can see later, or if you guys think there's enough info later to make a second video, that's totally cool with me as well, because this is exciting. Literally, the Digimon card game will never be the same again. Like, this is a generational shift, and people will be creating like GOAT formats for pre-Ace Mons and pre-Mulligan, I guess, maybe. Yeah, this is an insane use bomb that I wish dropped earlier than 2 a.m. That's the time when I finish recording. This is insane. I am incredibly excited. There may still be new stuff coming out as we record, and we'll have to make separate updates for that. But let me know what you guys think of this. This is an entire new generation of the Digimon TCG. Shout out to Jaden, dude. Get your game on. This is a whole new generation next. So let me know what you guys think. This is exciting. I am like hyped because this is super interesting. Like, the counterplay this opens up, it's exciting. I just hope it's balanced well. That's all I ask for, because trust me, I am nervous as heck for anything with a hand counter. But if they can manage it well for a good number of sets, I'll be happy, because this does add some interaction that I think the game was a little bit lacking in some aspects, because in others I think it was doing well. But that's going to be the update, guys. This is absolutely gigantic. I hope you guys are excited as I am. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Until then, remember to stay hungry until you get a taste of victory.